DTC, the Deutsche Touren Car Championship from the Eurofinals from Oschersleben in Germany. And the top drivers in European Group N touring car racing meet for the annual festival here at the East German track near Berlin. Last year, Dutchman Duncan Heisman took the title when the race was held at Zandvoort. There's rolling starts for both the qualifying race and the final, and the German DTC started in 1995 as a support event at DTM races. Now it's a top series in its own right, and here other countries are invited to the final. The qualifying race gets underway. 7 other countries now running to the same Group N production rules. 2-litre engines, 1,100 kilo weight for front-wheel drive, 1,300 kilos for rear-wheel drive, all on Dunlop controlled tyres. And as you can see, a lot of people already in trouble. Jürgen Honnister in the Golf leading from Olli Happilinen of Finland in his Golf, and Finland's Tony Rasmus Ruokonen. So quite a lot of cars off there. Hackel, Romhild and Fricke among them. For close action throughout the field. Already some damage there on the number 7 BMW of Germany's Marco Struck. But Honnister and Duncan Heisman are breaking away out in front. German against Dutchman. Heisman is running on older slick tyres, gambling that he can use new slicks for this afternoon's final. So still close fighting in amongst the pack as Ruokonen, that's Tony Rasmus Ruokonen, and Stefan Kissling in the Opel Astra move into 3rd and 4th. As you can see, everyone really pushing hard. So Honnister wins that qualifying race in the Golf from Heisman's BMW, and the final grid will be formed up from the qualifying result. So let's have a look at that grid for the final race. Honnister and Heisman on the front row there. Behind them, Ruokonen and Kissling on row 2, and then Thomas Mullens and Arto Salmenotti of Finland on row 3 of the grid. So we've got Golf, BMW, Honda, Opel and Citroen. 5 different makes in the first 5 places. That's really what Group N racing is all about. Some teams are changing to slicks. They think this rain that's just pottering down now is going to stop. Others not. Thomas Mullens and the Citroen Zara, he stays on slicks, 5th place in the grid. So 4 warm-up lap for the final. 14 laps ahead of them on the Oschersleben track. Trying to get heat into those wet tyres for most of them now, but just as we said, remember that car there of Mullens there in 5th fastest on the grid is starting slick. So Honnister, Heisman, Ruokonen, Kissling, Mullens, Salmenotti, Gedlick, Kurt Tim there, 8th. Yes, it's the same Kurt Tim, the DTM driver. A couple of other names you'll notice. Mark Simon there, the man who races in the Porsche Super Cup, and Stefan Obendorfer, he's there as well towards the back of the grid. So 25 cars starting this final race of 1998, the DTC Eurofinal. Can Duncan Heisman defend his championship title of last year? It's a rolling start. Heisman starting from the front row, but again it's Honnister, Jürgen Honnister, from Duncan Heisman, from Tony Rasmus Ruokonen, all down for that first corner, and now it's started to rain in earnest. It really has started raining hard. That's been a big mistake for Mullens. See the cars slipping and sliding even on the rain tyres. Now watch the man who was in 5th place, he's going backwards through the field. That number 20 Citroen Zara. Wide line into these corners here. Oschersleben, which hosted the opening round of the FIA GT Championship this year. That series now, of course, won by Klaus Ludwig and Ricardo Zonta. Great end of career victory for Klaus Ludwig, a man who's been racing for 29 years, has now retired officially and is retired as the 1990 FIA GT champion. Ricardo Zonta, of course, yesterday confirmed as joining Jacques Villeneuve at the British-American racing team in Formula One for 1999. Well, Hoenister, Heisman and Ruokonen still in action, and that rain really coming down in earnest now. Hoenister, as you can see, the only man who hasn't got to use wipers at the moment because everyone else is following in his spray. No change in the top three, but Finland's Markus Pautala and the Honda Integra now fourth. After a great start with German Markus Gedlich in fifth. Mullens is falling back on those slicks. That was a mistake he is going to regret for the rest of the winter. Pushing and shoving here. Sliding through there, the number 2 car we just saw, that's Frederick Moddo, the Belgian, in his BMW. Fighting with Pasi Latinmäki in his Golf. Well, Haapalainen is now starting to attack Dutchman Peter van der Kolk in the BMW. Peter van der Kolk is Heisman's H&P team boss. That's a 9th place battle that was going on there. Hoenister, Heisman, Ruokonen coming through. After 2 laps then, there's that fight between Hyppinen and van der Kolk continuing. 2 laps now coming up to be completed. There's the order then. Hoenister, Heisman, Golf from BMW, and then Ruokonen, Gedlich and Pautala in 5th place. So 3 different marks in the top 3 places. Duncan Heisman rather struggling a little bit on those wet tires. You can see he's got a lot of slip and slide on the rear-wheel drive BMW. Honda Integra and the Golf are getting more grip, and Ruokonen looks down the inside, tries to go through past Heisman. Duncan Heisman, the man who won this title in the dry last year at Zandvoort, he can't quite get the same performance out of the car here in the wet at Oschersleben. And in fact, Ruokonen's gone through, he's passed. And van der Kolk, Heisman's team boss, he's moved up the order. He and Moreau are fighting out. There's Frederick Moreau in the number 2 BMW, the Belgian right behind the Dutchman here in Germany. Well, the rain getting heavier, as you can see. This battle for 2nd place continuing. Heisman's not giving up. It's Ruokonen and Gedlich, and he's attacking Heisman. Gedlich in that black and red BMW looking to try and pass the Dutchman. Markus Gedlich in the KFM Motorsport 320i. So 1, 2, 3 and 4 all in the pictures, but you can just see the problems Heisman's having. His car has got no traction compared with the others, and Gedlich looks down the inside, can't quite do it. And as that battle continues, Gedlich will in fact get past Heisman, because we're now looking at Kurt Timm in the number 6 car, former DTM star Kurt Timm. There he is, that black and yellow BMW 320i, fighting with fellow Viking, Finland's Arto Salmentolio. Well, Timm, the Danish driver, was 1986 DTM champion for Rover, and then with Mercedes he took 13 wins, many of those of which we saw here live on Eurosport in the great days of the German Deutsche Tourenwagenmeisterschaft. Well, Timm goes through there to take 6th place. And meanwhile, Heisman, who's dropped back to 3rd, he's now being attacked for 4th place by the Golf of Haapalainen. Kurt Timm still on a big charge. Here he comes. Very much respected and admired Danish driver. Great Formula 3 driver in his day as well. Olli Haapalainen there, the Finnish driver, in his self-prepared Golf, looking to go through the inside of Heisman. Oh, does he do it? Not quite. Well, he has. He's got front-wheel drive. He's got the traction. He can pull himself round the inside of that corner. Heisman pushed down into 4th place. And behind, Kurt Timm still charging. He's trying to get up into 6th at the moment. Well, Haapalainen now looking at Heisman, and he's gone past Tim Kissling and Finland's Kari Gronthal, all fighting out their positions there. Morrow battling door to door now with San Menottio. So it's a Belgian finish fight here going on at the moment. And this is the fight for 10th place. There's the Citroën, number 20 Citroën of Moulins on slick tyres. Remember, he's dropped from 5th on the grid to 17th at the moment. Kissling goes past Gronthal. Good drive by the Opelman, and Kurt Tim's trying to follow. Gary Gronthal, also from Finland. Well, this battle for second continuing between Ruokonen, Gedlick and Hyperlainen now that Duncan Heisman has been dropped. Race leader Hoenister is 3 seconds ahead of him at this point of the race. Some 10 of the 14 laps completed now. Oh, Kissling gets it all wrong. There's a big, big moment there on the grass, sliding for what seems ever. So Kissling has to drive out through the gravel. Luckily, misses most of it, but that has cost him places. The rain's getting worse, and Kissling eventually, having been in the fight for second, is going to finish up down in 10th place. Paltala passes Struck, and Tim is still right there. As we watch our leader, Jürgen Hoenister, in the Golf GTI 16 valve. Increasing his lead. Kurt Tim's on the attack. He's got Struck just in front of him. This is Mirko Struck, so this is the battle for 6th place. Kurt Tim again, rear-wheel drive. Oh, and he goes through. Kurt Tim goes through. He takes back 6th place, which he held a couple of laps ago. Mirko Struck is pushed down to 7th. So our race order at this moment: Hoenister, followed by Ruokonen, Gedlick, Hyperlainen, Mark Simon. We haven't seen much of Simon. He's managed to push himself into 5th place. Then Kurt Tim in 6th and Mirko Struck in 7th. Well, Heisman's had a spin and he's dropped back down to 13th behind his team boss, Peter van der Kolk, the man who runs his team, and leader Hoenister, followed by Ruokonen, Gedlick and Heipelen. It's Volkswagen, Honda, BMW and Volkswagen. Well, Rauno Nuarama's had a problem on the other side of the circuit. His Golf has broken a rear wheel. Well, he didn't know it, and suddenly car's out of control. He's still going down the straight, wondering what's happened. Well, the wheel breaks free. Wheels come off completely. He still doesn't know it. He's still pushing on at racing speed. There's going to be a drama when he gets to the next corner. There went the wheel, suddenly parted company. He doesn't know what's happened, and suddenly he loses the car. Well, he's off on the grass, and it's all over. He must realise now that he's missing something at the back end of the car. A big fight for second, still continuing. It's 27 Ruokonen from number 5 Gedlick and 44 Hyperlainen. They're the three of them are all together. They're covered by the proverbial handkerchief. Jürgen Hoenister in the Golf's way ahead, with Honda, BMW and Golf right behind them. So Hoenister takes the win. Becomes the 1998 DTC Eurofinal champion. Thomas Winkelhock has already won the championship. He had no money, so he didn't come this weekend, but there's results. Jürgen Hoenister, Ruokonen, Gedlick, Hyperlainen, Simon and Kurt Tim. It's VW, Honda, BMW, VW, Ford and BMW. Really good mix here in this Group N series. So Duncan Heisman finishing eventually down in 13th place after that spin, right behind his team boss, Peter van der Kolk. And traditionally now, Duncan will